Yes, November's over. We're into December. The shops are packed. It's party time in the pubs. It's about time we mentioned the C word. Let's chat about Cheltenham. Let's chat about Cheltenham. Welcome to the first edition of Upping the Ante, the Racing Post's Cheltenham Countdown. I'm David Jennings from the Racing Post, and I'm delighted to be joined by the man who thinks about Cheltenham more than he thinks about his wife and kids. He even spends more money on Cheltenham than he does on his wife and kids. Yes, it is the one and only Mr. Gavin Lynch. How are you?
Dave, how are you?
I'm great, I'm great. Now, is it fair to say that you're absolutely obsessed about Cheltenham?
No, I think you're overstating that, Dave. It's okay, but just to tell you, there's 99 days, 1 hour and 10 minutes to go to the Supreme Novices Hurdle. 99
days till the Supreme Novice Hurdle. There we go. So we're going to be talking all about Cheltenham. We're going to be here every single Monday from now until the Supreme Novice Hurdle in 99 days. So don't forget to join us every Monday. So to start, Gavin, we want to know what's your best and worst Cheltenham anti-post bets.
Well, actually, the two of them happened on the same day back in 2004. I had the price of a car on English Drever to win the Royal and Sun Alliance Novice Hurdle that time. You know the 2.5
What kind of a car?
A Ford Cortina.
Okay.
But and should have won, got beaten a half a length, didn't get a good ride, so I was very, very depressed. And then a half an hour later, my brother's horse won the RSA Rule Supreme, so it went from 0 to hero in the space of less than an hour. And
I heard a little rumour that you got quite a big price on Rule Supreme for the Sun Alliance chase as it was at the time.
I had a tenner on Betfair, I remember, on Christmas Eve at 125 in Betfair, or 130 on Betfair, and in case he won the race in Kempton 2 days later on Boxing Day. But he didn't, but he won the RSA, so.
130,
yeah.
God, I don't think I've ever
only a tenner.
Only a tenner was all right. So obviously it's been a huge weekend on the racing front, and we're going to reflect on last weekend, looking forward to Cheltenham, seeing what pointers we found. And I suppose the first one we have to start off with, Gavin, is Ladbrokes trophy winner, Total Recall, a genuine Gold Cup contender now? He's 20 to 1, 25 to 1 roughly for the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
I wouldn't have thought so, Dave. He was getting a stone from Whisper, who's one of your favourite horses, isn't
he? Yeah.
So I wouldn't think that's good enough. He'll end up, you know, he was 147 on Saturday. He'll end up mid 150s, high 150s. So I noticed that Willie Mullins today says he may go for the English National, which sounds more logical than perhaps the Gold Cup.
So if Total Recall and Whisper were running off level weights tomorrow at Newbury, same course and distance, who would you back?
Neither of them, because they'd be too tired after running on Saturday.
But if it's just a 2-horse race?
Don't know. Tough question.
Okay, we'll leave that. We'll answer that at a further date. Okay, so obviously at Newcastle, the Fighting Fifth was the main event, and the Champion Hurdle has really turned into a 2-horse race. Would you rather back FAUGHEEN at 6 to 4 or Bouvardere 5 to 2 for the Champion Hurdle?
I would sooner back FAUGHEEN at 6 to 4.
Why?
I think that he's maybe the best hurdler I've seen in the last 25 years, including Isterbrack. Obviously, he's turning 10, so the stats people will be all against him. I think perhaps if you wait a month, a lot of the firms in January go non-run or no bet for the 4 championship races. So I think if you got 5 to 4 instead of 6 to 4, that'll be better value because you get your money back. If you can get an each way price like 3 to 1, 7 to 2, Bouvardere, it's between the two of them, isn't it?
It is, and like I know a lot of people are talking about this at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be a very small field for this year's Champion Hurdle.
The two jewels I'm looking forward to most at Cheltenham would be Bouvardere and FAUGHEEN and Altior and Douvan. They're the two races that would really
excite you.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And you do get excited about Cheltenham.
I do.
You certainly do. Okay, so it was a fantastic day at Fairy House on Sunday. Two of the standout performances were Det Duty's Drimore win and Presenting Percy, who made a mockery of his handicap mark of 145 in the Porterstown Chase. Looking ahead to Cheltenham, would you rather back Det Duty for the JLT or Presenting Percy for something like the RSA or the 4-miler?
I think that the JLT is turning into a fantastic race, but I don't think I'll have a bet till the day, because if there's a little bit of give in the ground, I'd probably back Det Duty, but if it's good ground, I would consider backing Willoughby Court or Finian's Oscar.
Okay. But
in terms of Presenting Percy, he hasn't done it yet at the top level, but he was fantastically impressive last year in the Pertemps final of 145. His rating actually over hurdles is 156, and for example, the favourite in the RSA, Monolith, is 145 of a hurdle rating. So I think Presenting Percy would have a great chance.
And it was one of them races on Sunday where it was just too simple. We were looking for alternatives to Presenting Percy, but everything was in front of you, and yet most of us, including me, just ignored it.
Yeah, no, I didn't back Presenting Percy. I just thought maybe they were thinking further down the line or whatever, but it very impressive. don't think I'll back him just yet for the RSA because in the back of your mind, you just don't know will they go for the 4 miler.
Yeah,
They probably won't, but just there's the little 20% chance.
Now, you're the expert here, but I genuinely think that Presenting Percy, that performance yesterday, screamed to me of RSA. And I don't think it's going to be a vintage year for staying novice chasers. Gordon has already said, no way is Debt Duty going to run over 3 miles over fences this season.
Yeah.
So that rules him out. And then when you go to the market, which you have done,
yes,
you're finding a lot of non-runners here.
Yeah, well, I don't think Yanworth, maybe he'll go for the RSA. As we mentioned, Willoughby Court and Finian's Oscar and Debt Duty, they probably won't. Just to say about Presenting Percy, he won yesterday at 145. I would imagine he gets, say, £12 for yesterday, wouldn't he? He has to.
Oh, yeah.
So 157.
12 lengths.
Just to tell you, the last 6 winners of the RSA, after they won the RSA, Mike Bite was rated 161, Blackline 154, Don Poley 163, of Wayneland's Boy 156, Lord Windermere 150, and Bobsworth 160. So he's very, very close already to the stats.
You were up late last night, Gavin.
Yeah.
This man has his homework done.
But I'm just saying he's very close already to an RSA standard.
Yeah, no, Presenting Percy. Out of all the performances at the weekend, to me, that was the one that stood out. But we're going to talk about another vintage performance, Apple's Jade. She just, everybody has fallen in love with her now. She was fantastic in the Hatton's Grace Hurdle at Ferriers. She's now, the biggest price she is 7-4 to retain her OLBG Mayor's Hurdle crown. It's a short price, but is it value?
7-4 is value, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
99 days to go. No, actually, 101 days to go to the race.
You'll either back Apple's Jade or nothing in the race, really. But just to say to you, like when Quevega won the race 6 times, again, I did a bit of homework this morning, is that her 6 prices were 2-1, 6-4, 5-6, 4-7, 8-11 and 8-11. So because Apple's Jade jumps a little bit to the right like she did yesterday, which doesn't suit Cheltenham, I think that she could go off even money at Cheltenham, and that's better value than 7-4 now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, because you know she's going to get there, obviously. Yeah,
so she's lined up for the race.
And do you think she's better now than she ever was?
She looks to be, yesterday looked to be her best performance ever, yeah. Like, it's a pity in ways the Mayor's Hurdle deserves its place at Cheltenham, but if we didn't have a Mayor's Hurdle, she'd be probably, what, a 3-1 favourite for the World Hurdle, or the Stayers Hurdle. And
a point I made in the Monday's Racing Post, Gordon Elliott, from an anti-post punter's point of view, he must be a dream, because straight after the race, he says so we completely ruled out Stayers Hurdle, completely ruled out Champion Hurdle. We're definitely going for the Mayor's Hurdle. And it was the same with Debt Duty, ruled out 3 miles. Megli Khan is going to go for the Supreme. For you that likes to have a Cheltenham anti-post bet.
He's fantastic because he's already said that Sam Crow goes for the Ballymore Cracking Spark, possibly for the Albert Bartlett, and Megli Khan the 2 miler. So he's very straightforward.
Absolutely. And one of the horses that you mentioned there, Megli Khan, is now favoured for the Supreme and has been slashed. I think 7-1 is maybe the biggest at the moment. I know that you, being the shrewdy that you are, you're on a much bigger price than 7-1.
I have backed it before now. I don't know whether I'd back it at 7-1 if I hadn't backed it. It was very impressive yesterday.
What price did you get?
Oh, 14-1.
That's definitely a lie. What price did you get, Gavin? Come on.
20-1.
20-1, Megli Khan.
Yeah.
You have to get up early in the morning.
But yesterday, to beat early doors, 5.5 lengths, but 15 lengths further back to Hardline, Morgan, Red Jack and Larichburg. You just hope that they will end up being grade 2, grade 3 performance to boost the form. And it was a good effort.
It was, and jumping was slick.
And the other thing I'd say is that I think the good ground at Cheltenham will suit, because it seems like a horse that has gears. It won 14 months ago in Kempton off 90 over a mile and a half in the all-weather. So I don't think the good ground would be any harm.
No, absolutely not. And we also saw a Triumph Hurdle hopeful stake a real big claim for that. ESPOIR Dalen, Gavin Cromwell, Barry Geraghty. I know you were impressed.
Yeah, I'm going to tip up 2 horses today.
Not yet, though?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
ESPOIR Dalen, to me, a 10-1 is good value. I think that perhaps you could say that the Irish 3-year-olds so far have been weak, but it beat Machuca very easily yesterday. It looks very likely it'll go off odds on for the 3-year-old hurdle on Stephen's Day in Leopardstown. If it wins that, it'll be a 6-1 shot probably for Cheltenham. It looks a very, very honest horse. It's won 4 times, including once in France, so it's 4 from 4. Barry seemed very impressed, didn't he? He
did, and he wasn't afraid to fire him at hurdles, which I really liked. You know, the first 1 or 2, there was no pace, and he just let him pop them, and he kind of got in tight. But after that, it was an AP McCoy job. He was firing.
He's not the biggest horse in the world, Gavin Cromwell says, but he certainly jumps very well.
He certainly does, yeah. No, I was very, very impressed.
Barry looked over his shoulder between the last 2, and he just knew the race was over.
No, absolutely. It was a very, very impressive performance. Oh, anything else over the weekend that caught your eye before we move on to your anti-post bets?
Nothing in particular. I suppose people will be disappointed with, you know what I mean, Harry. the stairs hurdle looks very, very open, doesn't it? I can't figure out the stairs hurdle for the world to me.
And you say you're disappointed, and you know what I mean, Harry, but Thistlecrack obviously was even more disappointing. Could you have him on your mind for the King George?
Absolutely not, no. I think it's too far to come back. He travelled well to 2 out and then just nothing. So it's very hard to come back from injuries with horses. Very difficult. A national hunt horse for them to come back.
Okay, I have 2 questions for you. So, will Thistlecrack win another race?
Possibly, but I don't think he'll win a King George or a Gold Cup, no.
This time next year, will Thistlecrack still be running, or will he be retired?
I'm sure he's a gelding, so they'll probably keep running him, but he just would have to show a lot more the last day, late on in the race, before you'd be interested in him again.
Okay, my answer to those 2 questions will be no and no. I think the Thistlecrack that we all know and love might just have had his day, unfortunately.
It'd be a pity, but as I said, it's very hard to come back from injuries.
Yeah, as we know. And I know you're suffering for a dodgy knee at the moment.
But like FAUGHEEN is contradictory to that, but hopefully he stays fit and well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's the weekend action taken care of. So now this is the bit that everybody wants to know. First of all, before you reveal your 2 anti-post bets for Cheltenham 2018, we're still, as you said, 99 days away. Have you even had a bet for Cheltenham yet?
I have had a few, yeah.
Okay, how many are we talking now? Let's be honest. How many?
4 or 5.
No. How many anti-post Cheltenham bets does Gavin Lynch have for the 2018 Cheltenham Festival?
Including multiples?
Including multiples, yeah.
Probably 15.
15 bets for the 2018 Cheltenham Festival. 99 days to go.
I love doing a small lucky 15 with 10 to 1 shots where you're only putting in small money. But, you know, the thing about Cheltenham is, you know, we do a show for Dundalk every week, and it's hard to fancy a lot of 10 and 12 to 1 shots for Dundalk each week. But you're backing horses now with 10 or 12 to 1 who are actually really good horses. So if you pick the right race, well then they've a good chance.
Yes, you really do think a lot about Cheltenham. Yeah. Okay, so now the moment has come. We want to start off. Let's hopefully get the show off to a winning start. We won't know for a while, so you look very shrewd at the moment. Your 2 best anti-post bets for the 2018 Cheltenham Festival. Number 1?
At the moment, I think the best value in Cheltenham is Cause of Causes for the cross country.
Okay, what price?
6 to 1.
And why?
He's currently has an official rating of 152. He should be going for 4 years in a row at Cheltenham. He actually was, he ran the Supreme Novices Hurdle in 2013. He was very unlucky in the Kim Muir in 2014. He won the 4 miler in 15. Last year he won the cross country. How far did he win the cross country by last year?
He won it by over 10 lengths.
9 lengths.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say 5 or 6 and make
sorry.
9 sound good. But he won by 9 lengths. It's a level weights race. He's already beaten, you know, the likes of Bless the Wings was 2nd, Cantlow was 3rd, Auvergnat was 4th. The All Kerry 11-4 that day. He went on to finish 2nd in the English National. He's been quick enough to be 2nd in the Galway Hurdle. Back in the day, he was 2nd, or he won the Ladbroke Hurdle in Ascot. I think he's a fantastic horse. He loves the spring. He loves good ground. He's only had 2 spins over the country fences, so I think he'll actually improve. And he's turning 10, so I think he's a great price at 6 to 1.
And there's people who will say, the cross-country race, that's not a proper race. They're jumping banks and hedges and walls and all that. Why would you have a bet in that race?
Because a 6 to 1 winner in the Gold Cup is the same as a 6 to 1 winner in the cross-country.
Okay. Your second anti-post bet, Gavin, I know we kind of gave it away a little bit earlier.
We did. ESPOIR for the Triumph Hurdle.
Yes, you were very impressed.
Yeah, it won a bumper in France over 12 furlongs last April, and it's 3 for 3 over hurdles. The other day I was just impressed with the way it put the race to bed so quickly in Fairyhouse. Obviously Apples Shakira is in it with the same ownership, so it'll be interesting. There's a small hope that maybe Apples Shakira could switch to maybe the Mayor's Novice or the Supreme, but she would get maybe £15 in the Supreme. But even so, I think ESPOIR it likely to win on Stephen's Day in the Knight Frank race, the juvenile hurdle, and if it does, then it could be maybe a 6 to 1 shot.
There we go. So Gavin's 2 anti-post fancies for the 2018 Cheltenham Festival are Cause of Causes in the Glenfarclas cross-country chase at 6 to 1 and ESPOIR at 10 to 1 for the JCB Triumph Hurdle.
And you have a wedding to pay for next year.
I do have a wedding to pay for next year,
do you fancy anything?
I thought you were going to give me a few bob there. I do. Okay, so I'm going to give my 2 fancies as well, just to get the ball rolling, because I know people might want to put these 4 in a lucky 15.
You never know.
So mine are going to be Brain Power for the Racing Post sponsored Arkle. I have to say I was blown away at Kempton. I just loved the way he got from A to B over his fences, and for David Mullins to say that it's the best novice he ever sat on, I thought that was glowing praise. 10 to 1 I think is a big price.
One thing about the Arkle this year, it's going to be very interesting if Petit Mouchoir shows up, Footpad and Brain Power, because the 3 of them want to get on with it. So they'll be going some lick in the.
They will, yeah. I think Brain Power will be happy enough getting a lead. And the other horse I'm going to put up, because I was just, out of all the performances this weekend, and we've seen quite a few fantastic performances, the one I was blown away by was Presenting Percy in the Porterstown Handicap Chase. So I think he has RSA written all over him. He's 11-1 still for the RSA. I don't think there's a big band of classy staying novice chasers around. So Presenting Percy has won at the course, and Pat Kelly, who better to get them ready for the big day?
Seems a great man, yeah.
Now, Gavin, before we finish up, if you were to give punters, you're a successful anti-post punter, other anti-post punters that want to be successful, have you any advice for them maybe in the short term?
Just if they fancy a horse, remember where it's going to be running soon. For example, if you fancy Duvan, if it's going to go on Sandown this weekend, 3-1, you should back it now if you fancy it. Similar like Footpad at Christmas, it's going to run in the Racing Post Novice Chase. Petit Mouchoir mightn't make that race, so Footpad will probably be odds on, will probably win. And if the 6-1 there now will probably be 3-1 afterwards if it was impressive at Christmas.
So you think even if they're a short price for their target coming up, if they win that race, they're always going to be cut?
Yeah, if you think they're going to win the target race, well then probably back them beforehand.
Okay. The early bird.
And the last thing is, at Cheltenham, I think the best thing to do is pick the weaker races, the less competitive races.
Yes.
Such as the Mayor's Hurdle is traditionally good for punters, or the cross country, or races like that.
Okay. There we go. So there's some punting pearls from Gavin Lynch. You've been watching Upping the Ante, the Racing Post Cheltenham Countdown. I've been David Jennings. He's been Gavin Lynch. Thanks for watching.